is talk about all the things you can do with RPR, and I'm going to show you where all the online webinars are, because honestly, they do it better than I ever could. So we're going to jump right into it. So the first thing to notice, I'm hoping you can see my mouse, is the address. Actually, no, I need to give you the address to create your own account. Give me 1 second. I should have done that. Actually, no, maybe we could just do it on RPR. Yeah, we can do it in RPR in one of the training. Okay.
Can they also go through MLS to get into their RPR?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
That is another way to do it. Yep. The problem is I already have an account, and
Right.
so I wanted to show you how to set one up, but it's actually in the intro video. Hold on, you guys.
Are we supposed to set up an account instead of going through MLS?
Well, you have to set up, if you want to be able to run reports and be able to send them out and have your face and all of your contact information on it, yes, you do need to set up your profile. So let's go in. Oh my goodness, I keep moving things around. So if everyone's with me, you have two choices. You can go in through narrpr.com, or you can go through Pinergy. My tools just have to be set up like this, but you're going to look for RPR right there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because I already have an account, I go zipping right in. Okay. So you can do so many things with this. You can get market snapshots. You can look at houses for sale, for lease. They have neighborhood information. Now, I'm going to warn you that because we're New England, not Texas, you know, where you have that specific neighborhood that has all that specific information, I find that this has not been as useful in my market, the Acton-Boxborough market, not as useful. I think that when you're in the city, you know, if you put in Jamaica Plain, you're going to be able to pull a neighborhood report. Those of you that are in that market, you're going to have a chance to play because we're home now. They have school reports. And then there's also this market activity report that you can run. All right, so let's start out by just doing, like, teaching you where to find other. All right, I don't want that there. I want to get to the top. Sorry, you guys. That's not helping me. Oh, yep, you can see that I play Mahjong.
I saw that.
All right.
I love Mahjong.
All right, all of the training, you have two options. I'm going back over here. You have two options. You can go to the little cap right here, or you can go to blog dot, not, you know, right here. There's your thing. But again, you can get in right through the training cap also. Okay. The last time I taught this class, it was help. It was like, there's also the search button if you have a specific question that you have, but otherwise it's here. All right. So this is the training website. These are amazing. I actually spent an hour last night watching their videos, and you can learn everything you would ever want. I learned new stuff last night watching these videos. So I went into, all right, so you saw what I did, right? I just clicked on, you want me to do that again? Just click on workshops, and then you've got a filter bar over here. I'm an agent. All right, so they have the upcoming webinars. This might be really, really interesting, making the most of RPR during COVID-19. One of the things RPR is doing is constantly updating all of its data. So if we start seeing market fluctuations, prices going wonky, you know, you're going to be able to see it in RPR quickly, okay? One of the, you know, I was on a Zoom call with Chris this morning, and some of the things that are happening is you're going to start seeing price adjustments, and you're really going to need to know your local market. And this is where you're going to have intel that other people won't have. She told a story about a house on the market who received an offer from some public servants, police officers, and they actually reduced the price of their house and made it as easy as possible for these policemen to buy this house. Now, part of it was humanitarian. Part of it was policemen aren't going to lose their jobs. So they saw this as a very safe sale. However, they cut their price by $30,000 on a $500,000 house. That's a significant market adjustment that you're only going to know about if you're in your local market and keeping an eye what's going on. making the phone calls, talking to other agents and knowing exactly what's going on hyper locally, you can come back to RPR, back to why we're here, to actually look at market trends from this perspective for buyers, for sellers, and just in general. All right, I went down a shiny squirrel path. That's what I do. Let's come back over here. I'm an agent. I want to watch now webinars. Now they have lots of different things, so take a look. They have beginner webinars. They see top 10 features. I mean, I don't have to read these out loud to you, but you can literally scroll through depending on what you want to use RPR for and watch really good. We're going to watch the intro one in a minute. Really, really well done webinars. It is basically somebody like me, but who knows lots more, navigating through RPR, showing you, what you can do. All right, now if you prefer, they do have written packages that you can download. When you're watching the now webinars, when we actually go into one, there will be resources that you can download. If you'd like to have a piece of paper when you're all done to kind of go over what you've learned, they have ebooks. All right. I have actually printed a couple of these. Remember, they're written for everybody. You're going to take what makes sense for you as an independent contractor and leave the rest. But lots of different ways to look at things, just how to run your business. All right, and then they have quick starts. Okay, so things on how to get going.
Kristen,
Yes.
do you use this for CMAs or not?
No, I don't. I use it as backup. Okay, so I'll go into that. Their CMAs are very, very detailed. And you'll see that later. I mean, they can have up to 50 pages. It's kind of reminiscent. Jeanette, what's the one we used to use? Toolkit, right?
Yeah.
And you can pick and choose the pages that you want to use.
Mhm.
And I know that, for instance, at one point, Anne-Marie DeCesar took RPR and Toolkit and all that and created her own custom designed CMA.
Mhm.
But to get back to your question, no, I don't use their CMA. It is really pretty. I'm not going to say it's not. It's just that I, as a myself, I tend to come in with as little information, meaning get the information my clients need to have, and then I wait for their questions and I augment, versus handing them 50 pages that may or may not result in a lot of questions they wouldn't have had that I created. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But in terms of knowing the market, understanding, price points, what's selling, what's not, what the demographics are, this is a really good way from a data perspective to drill into your local market.
Okay.
I don't know what I did. All right, let's go back to RPR. Because I actually think this, believe it or not, you guys, is a really, really, really good overview. And you can do this on your own. I can certainly walk you through it, but honestly, it's amazing. Can you all hear my audio?
Yep.
No.
You can't hear anything? All right.
I try to turn it up a little.
I recommend you do it though, to go through, because I actually spent some time last night watching the quick start videos, and they do it better than I could ever do. I was hoping that we could all watch it together, but apparently I can't. But you definitely want to do either your first visit to RPR or the quick start. All right, let's go back home. Okay, so let's see. I thought we were going to be able to watch those videos together. How does this make sense to do?
Maybe if you turn it up, Kristen, on your computer. Like if you turn your volume up on your computer, we could hear it.
All right. Yeah, because like I said, it really, sorry you guys, bear with me.
You're doing great.
All right, hold on. Let me get back in to where I wanted to be. Not that one.
You can tell you use this a lot.
Well, you know what? I use what I use. I don't use the training guides because, like I said, I kind of discovered them last night, and I was like, geez, why am I trying to recreate this when this is pretty awesome? Let's see. Because this is literally what I usually do. So you can download it, you guys. Let's just see what happens. If nobody can hear, this is something I highly recommend that you do. All right, so this is actually the printable report right here. How do I search on RPR? And we can go in and do that. We'll go do a search. And then you guys can go back into the resources and do it yourself. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Part of it is I can't see all my tabs because it's covered with the little sharing thing, and that is my idiocy not knowing how to move it to somewhere else.
If you just click
Minimize.
on it and slide it over.
Or minimize it, Kristen.
Oh, what? Oh,
It's your screen.
you guys are so cool. I should have just asked you in the beginning. Okay. All right. So let's just start doing it. Let's just do a search. I'm going to put in now a couple of things you should know. I tend to do the town and the zip code. Just because what I find, if I just do the town, I get some information. If I just do the zip code, I get other information. So this happens to be a listing that I have on the market right now. And like, for instance, only a Boxford person would know this. They've got a Boxford with just a no. I typed it in with UGH. I have learned through RPR that depending on how the search is run with the UGH or just the O, I get different information. But let's pretend I'm doing a market analysis on this house. All right, so we're going to start up here. You put in the address that you're doing the market analysis on, and it pulls up what they know about it. All right, now everywhere in here, they allow you to, they have these little basic facts. I'm sorry, the little information. So anything that you're not sure about, you can just click on. So Boxborough is a tiny, tiny market. There are very few $1 million houses. So for this one, their valuation property analysis, their AVM, which is basically their Zestimate, they don't have a lot of confidence. These AVMs are, the automated value, are pulled from all different resources, public records, sale data, other algorithms, I'm sure. They actually talk about that in the other intro. So they're not super confident about the value they're giving me. So when you pull this up quickly, you can say, okay, NAR thinks this house is worth $969. You go down here and you say, but they're not super confident about that. They've only got a 3-star. And here it is, the confidence score. So they're only like 60% confident that they've got the right numbers here. And hence I've got this huge, almost, yeah, $325,000 swing. They're saying, geez, this house could be worth between 800 and 1.1. So that means, okay, we need to go in and figure it out. Now, part of it is this house hasn't sold since 1998. So there is no recent sales data on it. So that is part of what's driving it down. So anyway, it's got all the basic facts. This house is actually under agreement, so it's got my listing photos in here right now. It will actually have all historical photos. If I had chosen a house that had been on the market before, you are able to see historical photos. Okay. Now, while I'm in here, what's going on the other side is all you can map it. All right, and there's all kinds of things you could, that gave us nothing. There's other things we can do with the map. I'll show you later. Let's go back. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Damn. Okay, hold on. I'll get back. Okay, we're back. Okay, so scroll. So on the side over here, it is giving you any historical records that he had, that RPR has, and it's also giving you quick snapshots about whatever town it is, and you can read it. You know, median estimated home value changes. Again, this is a tiny, tiny market. So it's not going to show you a lot of what I would say as relevant detail. All right, now, just like with Zillow, it does allow you to update the home facts. So the homeowner or you can actually go in and you can make any changes in case the public record is, in case either the public record versus listing facts are incorrect. Now I know my listing facts are correct because I've already done all that research, so that's already been changed. But if you were doing a market analysis and you happen to know that the basement's finished, or maybe the public record card missed the garage, because we all know garages get missed all the time. As a matter of fact, for here, that's actually what happened with us. They have an additional detached garage with 2 garage bays. RPR doesn't know about that because it's nowhere on the record card, so it's an opportunity to add that in. Coming down here, it's going to kind of talk about the market, how things have changed over a year, and I would argue that's very true. And then 3 years. The Boxburg and tiny market has been pretty flat, but the luxury market has declined. Anyway, and then the rest of this is all coming out of MLS. Okay, so going back up to the top, you can, like I said, pop into the history. Now, this is kind of interesting. Again, remember this is coming from public records. It's going to tell you when they have refinanced. It's going to tell you when assessed values have changed. You know, basically, there's the key, and it's whatever data is available. It'll show you what's happened over the last few years. I probably should have picked something that had a lot of sales activity. Sorry, you guys. But you've got public records and listing records. So this is great as a buyer agent too. I am primarily a listing agent. So when I go into this, I'm trying to figure out values and what's going on, you know, in a particular market. If I were a buyer agent, especially if I wasn't particularly familiar with the town that my clients had taken me to, this is a great place to see the trend data. And we can also do that with the neighborhood reports. So anyway, just kind of showing you through. Now, this is where in our area, schools aren't particularly useful. It's similar to great schools. It's pulling schools from other towns. These are not our elementary schools, but they are close to this particular house. So again, at least in my world, this is not particularly helpful. That means Hale, where's Hale, you guys? Is that Stowe?
That's,
I don't even know. The center school is Stowe. I have no idea.
Yeah, Hale is Stowe.
Okay, yeah, because I was
Hale
like,
is Stowe.
yeah, because this house happens to be on the Stowe line, and so it's pulling them in. But like, oops, if you're looking at like, all right, well, I don't have to go there. You guys can play with that. So do not depend on this for school data. Now you can click on a particular school, and this is also in the school reports, and you will get, see, it's from niche. So if you're already using niche, it's just aggregating the data here for you, so you don't have to go elsewhere. And it has basic information, and you can click down onto reviews. No reviews. Now, just on a shiny squirrel, if you really want to learn about your school's performance in any particular town, you can go on to the Department of Education, and they have everything you would ever want to know about every particular school district, from MCAS scores to SAT to class size, what kind of specials they offer. Again, if you're not familiar with the town, 15 minutes in the Department of Ed website will serve you well. All right, so let's go back.
Kristen, this is Lotika. How often do they update their records and things? I know you said it's based on public records, but how often does RPR update? Like, so when will we start seeing any shifts or changes due to all this COVID-19 stuff?
It is updated. I believe, I don't know hourly, but definitely daily, because it has all new listings, under agreements, sales. So it is pulling from MLS. And again, I don't know if it's every 15 minutes. I know Realtor.com is every 15 minutes. I do not know how quickly RPR is updating these things. So, sorry.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that would be a good question to ask. All right, sorry. Hold on, you guys. Well, let's, yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's pick a different one. Sorry, I'm mind cramping here because I'm trying to multitask how to manage my screens with you guys. Give me a second. Let me clean up a little bit. Okay. All right, let's just go back to the same one. All righty, so. So when we're in here, charts, we already talked a little bit about this, all the charts, they're running up and down the side. You also have here. This is the other area you can do refined values. Now this is again also important, I guess as a listing agent and a buyer agent who's getting ready to write an offer. You can, I think it's more helpful for a listing agent. You can come in based on a seller statement, the information that your clients have given you to add things like, for instance, if they finished a basement, you know, or say they did all right, so for my guys, they actually did completely redo their master bathroom. So I can put that in there. I can say that it, and I happen to know it was finished in January of 2019. And I know what they paid. Well, I won't put that in. So you can actually add that. I'm just gonna pick a number. And you can add it. All right, now, as we all know, you do not get 100% back for any kind of improvement. You know, we always educate our clients about that. We don't get 100% back. What RPR does is automatically adjust it for what the value added to that property is. So you don't have to play with that. So this is one of those areas that if your clients do give you a list of upgrades by year and they can give you the prices they changed, you can factor it in and even use this data later with an appraiser if you need to. All right. Now, say your house needs improvements and you're going in the opposite direction, you can do the same thing. And you can say, I need a garage, you know, the floor in the garage is completely cracked. CrackX gave us an estimate of $5,000 and you can add it that way too. Now, this is one of the reasons that I struggle a little bit with this, using it for a market analysis, because now what you're doing is you're just using a sliding scale. So you're using your knowledge of the house. Is it, you know, so how are the Boxborough local market conditions? I would say they're actually here. How is the exterior? You know, so we're just using a sliding scale. There's no way to definitively put a number on it the way that we might do it using MLS. So I can, you know, the exterior is actually gorgeous. Interior, it's a little dated, so I'm going to call it equal. Lot size, it's huge. View, beautiful. And I'm going crazy here. And privacy, yep, it's on 7 acres. So I can actually do all of that and update it. And now we've got this refined estimate. Now, I was screwing around, you guys, down here. And Jeanette, back to your question, one of the reasons that I still use the MLS market analysis is because you saw what I just did. I mean, absolutely, it's a 7 acre property and it's gorgeous, but is it worth 1.1 million? No, no, it's not. So that's why you still need to use some judgment when you're playing with all these, especially if you're going to use this in a market analysis. So just be really careful and use your knowledge of the market to go along with all of this. All right. Any questions on that?
Well, what do you use it for? Just to drill down?
What?
What do you use it for? To just drill down
I
on it?
primarily use it to understand the market, and especially in towns that I don't know. You know, so that's what I'm using it more. I will also use it as a listing agent to verify what I've already done in MLS, because this is, you know, if I have somebody that is a high C that wants to see every chart, every little bit of information, this is the place to go, right? And like I said in the beginning, I try not to data dump on people because I've learned the hard way that sometimes that creates way more questions than we ever needed to get into. We all have a fiduciary responsibility, but we're also managing people. So, you know, there's that walk that we walk. So this is that place that I can get all that information for the high C. So that don't want to just know Kristen Hilberg's opinion, they want to see it. I want to see how I did that. And then because of the way this lays out, I already know. I mean, I listed the house. You know, it's worth what they're getting, and I listed it at 865, I think it was, right around there, and 885, sorry, and they're going to come in right around there. So again, if I need to validate that, I can use this to validate my numbers and what I know. But like I said, this is great up here where I can actually put in information and put in the bathroom cost 25 grand. So all right, that's going to give them 13 in value. The place that I really struggle with is this. Hold on, let me.
Kristen, I just want to note you have a couple of questions.
Oh, sure. Someone has to help me with that because I can't see the chat box.
That's okay. I can just tell you. That's why I figured I'd
Yeah,
interrupt you
what
for a
would
quick
happen
second.
when I start saying it's at, I just go down to average, even though I know it's not average. They're assigning a lot of value to those things. Anyway, go ahead. Questions?
Okay, let's see. It says, when you run a report these days on an address and RPR, does it reflect any COVID adjustments?
No.
Or do you just
No,
do
what
those
it's going to
adjustments
adjust-
yourself?
Say it again.
Or do you just do the adjustments yourself?
There is no COVID adjustment right now. So,
It's a COVID adjustment anyway.
exactly. What I'm guessing that that's referring to is my initial talking about how the markets are shifting and prices are shifting, and you really need to keep up with the hows and the whys. You guys, this is no different than seeing, knowing your market and seeing a house sell for a lot more or a lot less than you think it's worth. And that's when you pick up the phone and you say, hey, Jeanette, I noticed you closed on 123 Main Street for $550. Gosh, I thought that was a $600,000 house. Is there anything I should know about what happened there? And she might say, oh yeah, really ugly divorce. Or it was an estate and they just wanted to dump it. Or maybe it went way over. Yeah, I know, we totally lucked out. It was exactly what this family from California needed. And we had a multiple offer situation and it went for over. So those, you still need to know why houses are closing for the values that they are. But there is no COVID value right now that we can just apply to everything. It's too soon. We're going to see the COVID value in 45 to 60 days when houses start closing. That's when we're going to know what's going on.
Yeah. And then somebody else said, don't forget to tell them about the commercial neighborhood feature.
I will get there.
Awesome.
Okay, so the reason I scrolled out like that, you guys, just so you can see, like, watch the value up top. And that's, like I said, I'm probably beating this horse to death. That's why I don't particularly love these right here. I would prefer to do the, and we should do this class, the CMA class again, Lorna. I would prefer to do my CMA and MLS because I find it easier to manipulate the data quickly and then take that knowledge with me over to RPR to be able to do the really pretty, more in-depth stuff. All right, any other questions? No? All right, so popping right along, comp analysis. So this is where you actually can create your CMA if you did want to print one out. So sorry for the ums. I noticed that when I'm watching videos now, people say a lot. This is where you can go through, and it's a very simple step-by-step process. So confirm the facts, and I'm just going to say, yep, you're all good, confirmed. Then it's going to pop me to the next one, search for comps. Now again, teeny tiny market. I actually find it easier myself to search for properties in MLS and then just add the properties I know I want to add. Because remember how I manage it, I started there and then bring it over here if I need it. You can do your searches here. All right. Let's just, for the heck of it, see, I know there's nothing to show you because Foxborough is such a quiet market. I picked a bad house. Within, I'm going to tighten it up within the last 3 months. I want 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. We'll leave the rest. Let's see what we got. But I'm just going to throw stuff in here now. Okay, so it's showing you what's for sale in Boxborough right now. There are 2 houses, and to be honest, Sarah's Way is a good comp. So I'll pop that in, update it, and close it. I'm just going to do it. Just do one for now. Now, pretend I had 6 in there, or 3. Pretend I had more. Then you can go. I just want to see. I want to show you how this is going to lay out. Then you can adjust the comps. And again, this is where I struggle a little bit. Now remember, I've already done it in MLS because I've got the same sliders. How does this subject the property compare? And I'm sliding. So And remember, I didn't change that. That's the lower end of the AVM. So I'm just going to say, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say that for the heck of it, whether it doesn't matter. All right. So, but you can go through, double check that these things are correct, and update valuation and close. All right. Then you can review it, and then get the seller's report. So I'm just going to pop right to there. All right. Now, this is exciting. This is where you can do so many different things with this report. All right, all right, we have the address. I'll go through the reports in a minute. Now I've set mine up over here. So when you set up your account, you'll be putting all of these things. What I will tell you is do play with this, because this area here, if you have all of this, your logo, the broker's logo, everything in there, can get really busy. Do remember that you need to have Keller Williams on there, your office name and address, and Lorna, do we have to have the KW logo or just office name and address?
I would use the logo.
Okay, so do remember that, but play with that when you set it up. You can, all right, and this is really cool too. So you can do page numbers, and you can also add custom pages. And this is a new thing that they added, relatively new. So you can actually add up to 5 custom pages. They do have a 10 megabyte maximum. So say you decide you want to use this for your market analysis, you can add your resume. You can add pages with, I learned this last night, you guys. I'm really on with this. You can add reviews. You can add like the Keller Williams, the thing we get every month that shows how we own the market. But you basically put in here.
Wait, you can get that from RPR?
You add them to RPR.
Oh, your custom pages. Okay, gotcha.
Right. You can upload your custom pages and then insert them into the report where you want them. And this is something that they didn't used to have that I think is awesome. You can only have up to 5 pages, I believe. So you have to kind of decide what you want in there. All right, coming over here, we'll do the seller's report. Now, every single one, as you're learning how to use this, you've got the more details, which tells you if you're going to add custom pages. Now, just so you know, when you add the custom pages, it's going to ask you where you want them. You also get to pick up. Somebody did a report. I heard them. Somebody played. That's good. You pick exactly what you want, and like you can see, there are a lot of pages, and you have to decide what makes the most sense. You can decide how many photos to have. If you take any personal notes that you want included in the report, you can add it. It also allows you to keep values out of there. So anyway, so let's see what one looks like. Show a sample. All right, so this is basically what it's going to look like, and page by page, it's actually, all right, so it's on the auto slideshow. So this is what it looks like. So that's what I'm saying. If you have somebody who loves data, it's very professional looking. It's going to have, you're going to be branded on it, and it is literally 50 something pages depending on what you decide that you want to keep. Like I wouldn't, well, I'm not going to give you my opinion. You get to go through and decide what you like and what you don't like. All right, so let's see that. Hide. All right, so there's all the different ones. Say you want it to make a flyer. You can use this to make a flyer. All right, you can do evaluation workbook, which is like for an appraiser. You can do market activity. Now, for buyer agents, you can do a custom buyer tour in RPR, but it's only available on the mobile app. Do not ask me why, because I do not know. But I did watch a webinar last night, and basically, again, because this is something new that they're doing, but you can set it all up on your mobile app and send your clients the tour. Similar to what, for those of you that have been in the business a while, MA Pass and Showing Time used to let us do that, and it was a really, really good tour we could send them. Now they're not as good. So this would be another way to manage that. So you can personalize it. I can put in the seller's names. I can type them a little note. I don't typically email these to anybody. I typically take them with me. It depends on your relationship with your client and who they are. I typically have a PDF made. So when you hit run report, it's generating. You can actually go back and work while they're doing it, and you're going to see it over here. The reports are here for 30 days. You can also update the reports. Like say you start creating neighborhood reports or market activity reports and you just want to update them, they'll do that and they'll extend, but they'll be here and it'll pop in a minute. All right, so while that's happening, come on over here. We'll come back to that. It's going to do a little ding dong and we'll come back to that. So popping over into commercial. Okay, reports. Now this is one of the things that everybody who knows me knows I love, and they are amazing for relocation clients, for staying out of fair housing trouble and telling people. So see, it's gonna ask you, it's gonna help you make things fabulous. So one of my favorite things is the commercial trade area report. And what this does, let's see, this is where I do. This is what's really fun. I am going to do a report for Acton. I'm going to make it for me. I'm going to spell my name right. And I'm going to run it. Now, this report is taken from census. Did everyone get their census in? It was due yesterday. Census data, jobs reports. There is no ethnic demographic in here, but income, education, and it's actually really cool because it gives it's going to give you people's recreation and spending habits. Now, what this was designed for is, say you want to open a business and you want to open a tattoo parlor, and that might be a really bad, I'm trying to not do an ism, but say you want to open a tattoo parlor in Acton Center. So you would run a report to figure, and it's gonna, well, I'll show you, it's gonna tell you who lives in Acton based on the data that's available, the public data that's available. And then you get to decide, gee, is a tattoo parlor going to fly in Acton Center, or perhaps should I be putting it in a more populated area with a different type of consumer? So they're really fun. So these are definitely one of my favorite things. I'm gonna go back over to residential to see if our other report, where's my reports? Yay! All right, so we didn't get the ding dong because we were over in commercial. So what I did, you guys, I just bopped from commercial back to residential, and this is going to be what a report looks like. So like I said, it's going to be totally branded for you. This is the property report. It'll pull whatever photos. Now you can upload photos. That's in another section. That's my old picture. And this is what I mean about it gets kind of busy because my logo happens to be my name. So at some point, I've got to decide whether I need to have both in there. This does, my license number is here, and it has all of us. All right, so scrolling through, it's going to give you a plot plan. It's going to, yeah, I'm not sending this to them that says their house is worth $775, but this is based on the playing that I was doing before. And again, it's exactly what I showed you before really quickly. It's a really nice house. That's what a property report is going to look like. Now, here's what's cool. So this school data is actually coming from MLS, and I'm horrified that ABRHS is not capitalized. I'll have to talk to my people about that. And anyway, they've got all the listing photos, et cetera, et cetera. So this is great either for sellers or for buyers if you want to pull one of these reports. All right. Now let's get back over here and see if my trade area report is ready. Reports. So, oh, you know what? I have a touch screen. I'm sorry. I get used to doing that. You probably can't see me. All right. So this is what a trade area report looks like. And this to me is so much fun because it is uncannily accurate. Like run one for your hometown, wherever you're from, and then maybe for one of the towns you work in. Cover page is the same. And this is where it starts pulling all of the data. It's going to give you population. So if a relo says, how big is the town? Well, there's your, sorry, pointing, daytime population. There's your median income. There's the median age. So we, now they have these really cute names for everything: professional pride, urban chic, top tier, enterprising professionals. And it basically just describes where they typically live, whether they're married or not, and the data comes down, how big their household size is. Again, I find this really fun. How many cars they own. Anyway, no, I'm sorry. I started to go down a path in my head. I'm going to keep going about who leases Mercedes and who really should own a Mercedes, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day. Okay, so this is when we get into the descriptions about the community. And like I said, remarkably accurate. So professional pride, the #1 dominant segment, 35%. And then it starts talking about, quote unquote, who we are. Well-educated career professionals that, sorry, pointing again, typically are in owner-occupied houses. 60% of the houses were built in the last 20 years, which we all know. Those of us who are local know that's when the town grew up. Talking about marketing profiles, how often they travel, how they love Home Depot and Bed Bath & Beyond, if they still exist in a couple of months, whether they have cleaners. I mean, like I said, if you read this, it's a lot of fun. So it's going to have all of the different demographics. I'm just scrolling through quickly because Acton is a pretty economically diverse town because we have a lot of housing stock at the high end and the low end, which means we do have a broad demographic from an income and education perspective.
Kristen,
Yes.
I'm gonna hop off. So just
No
if you
worries.
have a chance to check the things, but keep going. It's recording, and when you leave the meeting, it will end.
Okay, I'm almost done.
Okay.
All right, so only because I love these. So like I said, make one for your town. It's going to give you daytime population, residential population. If we keep scrolling down, male to female ratio, is this a great place to be? Should they have a singles bar here? Ages, population breakdown by age. Like you can tell, this is basically, the highest population is here. Kids and people with kids. And then what happens when you get older? You probably tend to move away because you're here for the schools. All right. Good. I'm going fast, you guys, just so you can kind of see. Unemployment rates. Now this is today, in July. So whoever asked me about COVID numbers in July, they will have pulled this data, and let's be honest, it's going to be up here somewhere. It's not going to be down here where it was in January. But that won't be available until July. Now, this is interesting too. Where do people work? So, this might be interesting to you if you are trying to figure out how to lead generate. Who are the buyers? Where do they work? Can you tap into finding clients that way? Education, Massachusetts and Acton. Degrees. Again, this is all coming out of the, average commutes. So what are people's tolerances? Most people are commuting a significant part of their day in our area. And I will say that as a listing agent, when somebody comes in and asks about the commute, I actually speak to that it's a pretty normal thing. Most people are commuting about an hour, and why people are willing to commute an hour from this particular town, because I think it's worth it. All right, so anyway, you can play with that, but I love these charts. I think they're amazing. All right, so just to kind of circle back, there is so much you can do with RPR. There's been a lot of written, I'm not going to call it news in the street, written stuff about NAR pulling funding from this and that this may go away. I have no idea if that's going to happen or not, but while we have it and while you're at home, this is just a phenomenal way to be able to learn more about the area and be able to put things into reports. Now, one of the things that I saw last night that I need to check on is that you can now create reports and then put them on Facebook. So I need to look into that. I will learn more because part of it is what our MLS allows and then what our office allows. But I'm just thinking from a prospecting perspective, if you can run market reports and neighborhood reports and share them with what's going on with the market right now, that's going to put you ahead and make you look like, well, no, you are the local expert, not make you look like. So anyway, but that is pretty much everything. Play around with it, like I said, and watch the videos. The videos are 6 to 10 minutes long, and they are really, really good because it literally is somebody walking you through everything for whatever you're looking at, walking through everything you can get out of RPR, and it's really, really useful. All righty. I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm happy to, okay. Ah, my husband thought someone was at the door when I ran the reports. I'm just popping into chats. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. There is a great tattoo at King's Ink. King's Ink is in South Acton. If you would like to get a tattoo in Acton, you can go to King's Ink. My son has been there. I have not. But anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you, Kristen.
Have a good one.
Thank you.